Hey, welcome everybody. It's episode 146. Can you believe it's 146 episodes of the Global Diamond Broker Hard Truth Diamond Podcast? We're changing the name, by the way. So if you're going to have any recommendations, please send them in. Just email broker at theglobaldiamondbroker.com or message me at 604-999-8111. And I'm sure we'll have a gift for anybody who comes up with the right name. So today we're having on Rosengarvis here at episode 146. And I talk about the 146 again because I believe today, the longest running series of podcast series in the diamond industry globally, which is another first for us. I personally love first. We're the first global diamond broker. We're the first broker to open our doors to the public. If you watch our this week's price comparison, you'll understand more why you want to deal with the global diamond broker. Not only is it fun, interesting, and you can learn a lot, our prices are so much better than anybody in the industry globally. I don't get it. I don't get how people are getting away charging what they charge. You want the best price, you want it guaranteed for life. That's us. And I don't want to sound too salesy, but I worry about it when people are spending $10,000 more dollars on a 4 carat than we can get it for. I mean, today it's $8,000. Blue Nile. Brilliant Earth, these guys charging so much money. And they can charge what they want. But remember, you don't have to pay it. You can come to us and have your price and the beauty of your diamond guaranteed for life. Anyway, we're with Rosengarvis, who I'm sure will share all those sentiments with you. Couple of quick updates. De Beers is in real trouble. If you're thinking about a mine diamond, there's some articles right now from Forbes and organizations like this who are talking about the fact that the industry is non-recoverable. The industry is non-recoverable. They have been decimated by the lab-grown diamond. I think about it, and I think about how fast this has all happened, and I think about when I predicted it over 4 years ago, and everybody in the industry went crazy because apparently I had rocks. The rocks were in my head was one of the things, but they weren't. And today, the company's doing extremely well. We're brokering. We have a growing list of clients all over the world. We're loving social media, and it seems to be loving us as well. This podcast is really about you and you understanding and you meeting the people who come and see us and why they come and see us. We're not like a retail store. We're not open on weekends. We have a process where you get more value than you could get anywhere else. They talk a lot about Kimmy, our designer, who's extraordinary. When we make a ring for a client, no one's ever tried it on but them. That combined with the world's most beautiful diamonds. And this is a big one for my clients. I make the promise, the commitment that wherever they go for the rest of their life, they'll have the most beautiful diamond in the room. Rosengarvis will back us up on that. I'm the Global Diamond Broker. Please meet Rosengarvis. God bless. It's a pleasure to have you here. A sweet rose.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Jarvis, you get, I guess the consolation prize is Rose.
Yeah, totally.
Right. We're here with Rosengarvis, who I just, was explaining. You probably heard this. Rose has been so lovely to work with, and Kimmy asked me to say hi to you guys. She saw you were
Great.
our designer. But yeah, Rosengarvis, you're in a very interesting place in the world where everybody's heard of it. So why don't you tell us where you are, what you're doing, and let's talk rocks.
We live in Rancho Cucamonga, California.
Rancho Cucamonga, California.
The real place.
Right? Like that name, Rancho Cucamonga, is iconic, I think. Everybody's heard of it. No one knows where it is.
Yeah.
And when you say it, people are definitely afraid to spell it.
Yeah, right.
It took me a while to learn to say it, but we all had a good laugh when we first met and you guys were down there, which is, you're not really that far from where I am on the 37th floor of the Marriott here in downtown Vancouver. By the way, that's not a fake background you're looking at out there. That's the real deal. And how did we meet exactly?
I discovered you on Instagram and I messaged you.
That's right.
Right. Yeah.
And I said, I want a 5 carat diamond. You said, okay. And then I said, I want it to be a princess cut.
Yes, that's right.
And then you said, okay, hold on. And then you got back to me and you were going to give me a price, but we set up a Zoom call instead.
That's
And in the interim, I was telling my husband about you and showing him videos about, what you do exactly and how the new lab diamond world, is headed. And he was like, oh my God, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
This has to be a couple years ago now we met.
two.
Yeah.
I believe it's 2 years ago.
Right? That's so wild to think back to then. And you two look so cute together.
Tell us
I
that.
don't know. You're my little sidekick here.
Really? People tell you that?
Yeah.
You're the most adorable couple. Like, I'll just say it like that. Like, I have so many fond memories of us sitting here and you two like you are right now. Yeah, because 2 years ago, lab grown diamonds were not what they are now. And we really kind of got into some really interesting conversations about it at the time. And I also remember me sharing with you, somewhat taking a risk, my views on princess cuts.
Yes. I
Right?
remember that. Yeah.
Yes.
And we had purchased a ring for her, and in her occupation, she banged it and cracked it. And you remember that? And I was really concerned about that. And you had explained to me that it was
Probably a Fisher.
a feather, is what I believe you called it.
That's
Yeah.
right. They're called feathers.
And so that started our adventure, and I really didn't know anything about it at all. And so you educated me a lot about the whole industry, as far as, besides not just lab grown, but organically grown diamonds. And I learned a lot from you in that, especially in that first Zoom call, and about princess cut and the different types of cut and the clarities and what they mean. I mean, I really was uneducated about it. I was pretty nervous going to jewelers with her, wanting to find the perfect thing, and realize that I'm really I felt vulnerable, I think. And I think dealing with you and going through this process and you educating us and teach us about it, I felt completely comfortable. It went from that to looking forward to our next Zoom call.
Right.
And it's still that way today.
That's so interesting. I've had it said to me a lot of ways over the years is you felt vulnerable. And it's interesting because I think most guys do, because it's something that how could you know about it? How could you, understand how it works? And yet you want to make the right decisions, not just for you, but for her.
Sure.
Exactly.
I mean, obviously there's always a financial concern, and you're worried about not being taken advantage of, but the most priority is finding something that's going to make her really, really happy.
Right, of course. And we managed to do that.
We did. And the funny thing is I'm the one that's trying to be conservative and not spend too much money and not get too, and I'm the one that was making all the changes, if you remember.
I do remember that, Carvis,
And
for
it came out
sure.
perfect.
Yeah.
I remember when I told you, I said, well, gosh, maybe we should just get an eternity band to go with it. And she goes, really?
I not only remember that situation, I remember that very moment, the look on her face. So
She was
cute.
happy about that. Yeah. You like that idea.
Here's the thing. She can go anywhere she wants now. It's the most beautiful everywhere she goes. Right? And that's all the time I talk about this. It's not about what you spend. It's about the return you get. There's no financial return, but as an emotional return, I mean, it's one of the big ones for her. Right? And even a guy gets to get real pride of ownership when the diamond's the most beautiful and her workmanship's the best. And, she beams like Rose still does.
Yeah.
Like
It looks great. Yeah, that reminds me of a funny story. I was watching after we had met. Now I'm interested. Now I'm following you, and now I'm listening to the other things you're saying. And you said be a diamond stud, and you were making the point that it's not just her, but it's the guys too that when people go, wow, look at that,
Somebody loves you.
yeah. So then I started telling you had to refer to me as the diamond stud. I liked that.
It's funny because it's true. Because when she has the prettiest diamond in the room, and I know she does. Our clients do all over the world. Like
Yeah.
it's once you understand. But we live in a world where this industry is so full of so much. I want to be polite, misinformation,
Convoluted misinformation. That's exactly,
convoluted misinformation. That I
exactly what
love.
it is.
Can
And
you
that
write
was
that
my
down
experience.
for me there, Brianna, if I'm not interrupting? Convoluted misinformation.
And that is how I was feeling before we met. And that's for sure.
Definitely not trusting.
Yes, for sure.
How can you? And who can you? And again, you've got the big brands in this world like Tiffany selling, GHI and J colored diamonds like they're not the garbage that they really should be and should have been for a very long time because they're dark diamonds, they're not beautiful. You've got an industry where no one can tell the difference, especially today. Well, you've got an industry that lied about the financial value of a diamond and wrote its own news. And what I find interesting is they still do it. Like the company's in so much trouble. There's a great article from Forbes recently, since we sort of went here. Once you understand there's no financial return, it's all about beauty, which you tuned into, Garvis. Not all our clients do. Not all our clients think, gee, I want to be the diamond stud. That's me, by the way.
Yeah, right.
That's wonderful. So, what else? What were some highlights for you, Rose?
Well, I like the fact that you have somebody, designing the ring.
Somebody amazing.
Yeah. Kimmy she has a lot of patience. I'm a tough one. I
She,
mean,
honestly, I don't know if I've ever, but Kimmy is my favorite person on the planet.
very patient.
Oh, she's so lovely and she's so talented. And, this is a woman who is a certified graduate GIA gemologist who didn't phone it in. She went to the campus, did it the right way. And, so many of our clients benefit from that. And then there's her experience with De Beers. Even with De Beers, when she was still working for them, she got special permission to continue to work with us the whole time. And this woman worked as a mine liaison. I mean, like me, she's been at the echelon, the absolute pinnacle of the diamond industry and knows it all so well. And I always feel how much that training as a graduate gemologist and being around diamonds translates into her designs. I took a few minutes to have a look at your designs before we came on here, and they're extraordinary.
Yes. And we
Incredible.
kept those. We kept those.
Oh, you
Yeah,
did?
yeah, we did. We
We,
saved those for
we have
sure.
those saved.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah. She's very patient. She listens and she also gives suggestions. And when my husband was trying to build a ring, but this is not what we do for a living. So she was very helpful, even though he did try to build a ring.
Yeah, and I think on that aspect, she was pointing out that we have to do this part for structural integrity, and this part I'm doing for this reason. And so I understood each part of the design, and whether it was just for fancy and pretty, or it was also for making sure that the integrity and strength and longevity of the ring was there. And I feel like she pays close attention to both.
No
And it's like,
popping diamonds out.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Cracking diamonds.
Exactly.
Yeah, or cracking diamonds,
Cracking diamonds, which we had been through. So yeah.
um,
Well, also keep in mind, we originally were talking to you about the princess cut, which we had experienced with the crack, and then you introduced us to consider. You said consider, take a look around, different sizes, different this and that, but was the cushion cut.
well, it's interesting because if you recall at the time, you had now, when we talk about the broken princess, the points on princess cuts are extremely vulnerable. If you have it in a claw, sometimes when they're setting them, which was what I speculated happened with you guys,
That's what
Yeah.
I think. So.
the setter put too much pressure. You didn't see it because you wouldn't. It's
Right.
underneath the claw and they spread. Diamonds have a grain like a piece of wood has a grain. And so to our listeners, what happened was the diamond was broken on the tip. And this is where they break because diamonds are like have grain like a tree has a grain. If you hit it, it cleaves. Which is part of the diamond cutting process. But at the time, I also had a diamond from a client who was trying to sell it. No, it wasn't trying to sell it. We repaired it for them. We cut it because we manufacture and cut, and I had their crack polished out. Do you remember that? I had the other.
I do recall that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The problem is if you want it to look like the real princess cut again, but we just polished it so it wouldn't spread anymore. Kind of looks weird now, but it's still all together. Anyway, okay, so what else? What else is on your list, you guys? And do you guys have any questions for me today? Like, here's one that we could talk about is your completely diamond ring that we're talking to my manufacturing in India about. When I say diamond ring, the whole ring is made of
Without any gold.
no gold,
No
all
gold.
diamond. This is what's going on in the lab grown industry. It's very big in China, where people will literally go in to the jewelry store and understand they're going to order something different. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. So yeah.
That's definitely very interesting to me.
Oh, it's so cool. Well, we're kind of doing it right now. What the question is, will we be able to buy a pink piece of rough big enough, or should we go with purple?
Or pink.
Oh, we're going with pink. Okay.
I like pink diamonds though.
Oh, okay. Because usually anything.
Oh, I think as a pink ring, if we can do it. I mean, the rough for lab grown pink doesn't grow exactly the same as white, and it would take a pretty big piece. Did you get your ring size for me like I asked you to?
No.
Yeah, you know it off the top of your head.
No, this one's different, a little bit different. I think
Oh.
it's a tad smaller.
Okay.
You still have the sizer we sent you?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, perfect. Well, listen, you guys, I can't tell you how much I love having you as clients, and I do consider you friends now. I
Me
mean,
too.
especially since I have my room at the lake. When do I get my keys?
There's a lot of
It's ready to go. He's ready to go.
Hey, I'm coming to go water skiing again. Okay, I haven't
Yeah,
done
that's
it in a
fun.
few years.
Yep.
But adore you guys. Love the fact that we get to work together and do some marvelous things. And of course, all at our prices. The Global Diamond Broker. I have to give myself a little plug here because I was on my live today and talking about price, and then we shot a video this afternoon, and the video's about the fact that I just got to talk about this because I'm kind of getting frustrated with the fact that people don't understand that
Yeah.
we can save them thousands and thousands of dollars off of retail. And I
Yeah.
don't get it. I don't know how that
You did it for us.
Yeah, they don't understand. To this day, I tell people about and they
Yeah.
the thing is this, and this is what I need to tell you, is I got my ring and then I got my other ring that has a crack in it, and I put them together and I walked outside. I walked under fluorescent lighting and I was like, called my cousin, said, Kathy, come check this out. She looks at both the rings. She says, I can't tell at all. I go move around, walk around. She could not tell the difference. The sparkle is exactly the same. It's the same. And that right
You're
there,
referring to
what
lab
made me-
grown versus mind.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
that's what made me a believer.
Yeah.
It was incredible. Incredible.
That's not the prices I'm talking about, but I get that. I'm talking about people right now are going online to places like Blue Nile and Brilliant Earth and paying 3 and 4 times our prices for laboratory created diamonds.
That's where my princess cut came from, was Blue Nile.
Oh, was it?
Yes,
The
sir.
one that
Sure was.
cracked.
And they wouldn't help you with it, eh?
No. No.
It's interesting. That's another issue is the fact that They don't look at their diamonds. They never see them. They never see them. They drop ship everything. And in the early years of the company, I know the company very well. They were sending wrong diamonds to wrong people, and it was just awful. And I go in the dealer's offices because I sold to them in New York, for example, in the Diamond District. My job wasn't to buy from there. I sold to the sellers, the so-called dealers, because it's a secondary market. I had my office in Antwerp, Belgium in those days, and you would see the Blue Nile boxes, right, when the company first started, because they drop shipped. So if they had a problem with a guy, and this is still the case, because they don't see their diamonds first. You're just nobody to them, where
That's horrible.
ours is a little bit more personal.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
Yeah, I think I even said the other day,
Personal and perfect.
if I go, if we were
perfect. I think of myself as perfect as well, Rose. Right? Like
Yeah.
getting pressure to put my personal life in to the business more. And because you know how I work out and I'm big and strong. And so I want the 5 C's to be cut, color, clarity, carrot, and conditioning. Okay. So your diamonds have perfect health. Anyway, I'm just kidding.
Oh, do they keep growing?
You're right.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
become more carrots eventually. Yeah.
There you go. Some calisthenics. Cut, color, clarity, carrot, and conditioning. Listen, you guys, always a pleasure. God
Hey,
bless. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for sharing your insights. Thanks for being such wonderful clients. And anybody listening, thank you. We're grateful.
And Kimmy,
Have a
your
lot of fun
designer.
doing what we
yeah,
do.
we said hi as
We
well.
love her. She's awesome, patient.
Oh, yeah.
Love her.
Kimmy is the best.
Tell her we said hello.
We will for sure. God bless you guys. I'll talk to you soon.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye
Thanks for
bye.
coming on. Well, there it is. There's Rose and Garvis. What a lovely couple. Thank you for tuning in to episode 146. We're so grateful to all of our friends and listeners who, from all around the world, we get questions on the podcast and we get people describing how much they're learning by listening to the podcast. If you've got questions, I can promise you this. We've got the answers. Please don't hesitate. As I used to say, stand from the rooftops and shout our name, and we'll be there. We're grateful to our clients. We're grateful to so many people who help us get this done and provide a product that is unrivaled anywhere in the world.